Cradle, Dogs of Fount, Chapter 34, Part 3. Hacker sat behind his huge wooden desk, which had stacks and stacks of reports across its width. "We can only talk here so long," Hacker said. "Cyphus is in control now. You may have the guns, but he has everything else. I'm telling you this as an ally. I do what he says. There's nothing personal. I suggest you fall in line or I'll have to cut you off. I don't want you dragging me down with you, okay?" "You think I'm trouble?" the general asked and then laughed shortly. "No, I know you're trouble. That's why I'm trying to clear this crap up right now." "What's your angle?" "Honestly, that's none of your business. But if you must know, I'm just trying to make it out of this with my position intact. And foremost, I want to live. Just in case you get the itch, though, just know you are being watched like a hawk. Everywhere, my friend. You know Cyphus." "Is that it?" Hacker nodded and smiled in an attempt to intimidate the general. The general looked at him evenly for a prolonged moment and then stood up and shook hands with the chairman and then exited without looking back. Once he got back to the main and wider hallway, he took out his screen discreetly and asked Ruth was she okay and at home. She didn't answer immediately, and he put his screen back in his navy blue blazer. He walked to the elevators that led to the indoor parking complex and waited for it to get to this floor. Nice jazz wafted from the speaker overhead and got him rocking slightly to the music. Other than that, it was extremely quiet. Just as the door opened, his screen vibrated and he entered, pressed it for the lower third floor, and checked out Ruth's reply, and she confirmed she was fine at home. She had to go back to her flat and not Arturo's house because he was in the spotlight of the media at the time, and him reuniting publicly with her may compromise her safety, but a formal reunion was still in the plans. When he got into the garage from the elevator lobby with the huge G painted on the back wall, Arturo heard an excessively loud slam of a metal door. It almost made him duck, but he figured it was just the wind passing through the garage gaps in the concrete. He had driven a turbo to today's conference, and he could see its black paint reflecting the LEDs all the way up from this further end of the garage. It was a military-made luxury flagship. Naturally, it was a sedan, but the general had access to its coupe version too. He looked around once as he approached his car and paused to listen for footsteps. It was quiet and seemed verifiably safe. The doors automatically unlocked, sensing his key, and he got in and closed the door with a thud and then sighed. "Who are you?" the general asked the person he sensed in the back seat. There was just one slight gap of silence. "Get your panties out of a bunch. It's me, Polnick," the intelligence officer spoke. "So you just pulled a sleight of hand up there in the hallway." "You got it, my friend," Polnick answered with a smile in his voice. "What's with this urgency?" the general asked. "The urgency is an upcoming meter Hacker is having with Cyphus. You need to be there, no matter what. Some big deal's in the works, and we need to know what the hell is going to happen to Fount because of it," Polnick explained. "Hacker doesn't exactly trust me, my friend," Arturo said. "Doesn't matter. Do what needs to be done to get to that meeting," Polnick demanded. "I got you, Pol. Alright, I'm getting out on the first incline, but do it once the line of sight is below this level." "Got you." Arturo backed out smoothly and made a few turns in the somewhat cramped parking garage, and Polnick hopped out once they made the incline. Arturo saw him get out, looked away, and then back, and the spy was gone. "Spy school," Arturo laughed. The clouds in the sky were wispy puffs that looked made from brushstrokes. The heat was prevalent, however, only encouraged minimal sweat. The trees were pale green and sighed and shifted as if in a choir. Arturo was trying his best to enjoy the atmosphere, but Hacker was not a person he wanted to play golf with, if any serious effort were to be maintained.